Imagine buying a home with a down payment that won't break the bank. In this video, we're breaking down everything you need to know about getting an FHA loan. Let's make your homeownership dreams into a reality. Some things to know about the FHA loan. FHA stands for Federal Housing Administration, and it's a mortgage that is insured by FHA, and it's issued by a bank or other approved lender. It's not issued by the government directly. Some of the benefits of an FHA loan is a 3.5% down payment, and you can have a credit score as low as 500. Now we'll talk about the qualifications in just a little bit. The FHA loan program started in the 1930s when getting a home was very difficult, and it still helps people today. Now let's talk about some details about eligibility for an FHA loan. To get a 3.5% down payment, you have to have a credit score of 580 or higher. However, you can have a credit score as low as 500, but you'd have to put 10% down. This is not exclusively for first-time homebuyers, which I think a lot of people think that the FHA loan is for. Typically, if you haven't owned a home in 3 years, you qualify for an FHA loan. There are some other circumstances that work too, like if you're buying with a spouse or partner and they owned a home a year ago, but you haven't owned a home in the last 3 years, you both still qualify for an FHA loan in that case. There are no salary requirements. You don't have to make a minimum or maximum amount of money. You need 2 years of work history, and there are some exceptions there. So being a student can count toward work history. Some gaps in employment are accepted, like military service, working in building trades or agricultural, basically the seasonal work, that can count as well. If you've been working for 6 months and have a gap in work, but you can show 2 years of employment prior to the gap, then that can be okay too. Your debt to income ratio can be up to 46%. Debt to income ratio, or DTI, is a percentage of debt versus your pre-tax or gross income. The mortgage payment includes the property taxes, insurance, HOA if there's one, all that kind of stuff. The DTI can be up to 56% when you include all of your mortgage stuff and then other debt like car payment, credit card, student loans, all that. This is higher than other loans. Also, this is the maximum. Not all people will qualify at this DTI. It's based on your credit score being 620 or higher and some other factors. You really want to talk with your lender because each lender can be a little bit different, and we'll talk about that more a little bit later. I think a big advantage of the FHA loan is the low down payment requirement, which is usually 3.5%, and it makes it more accessible for buyers with limited funds. An FHA loan is more flexible than a USDA loan and other loan programs. The main negative to FHA loans is mortgage insurance. There's the upfront mortgage insurance premium, which is 175 basis points or 1.75% of the loan amount. So as an example, a home with a loan amount of $300,000 would have an upfront mortgage insurance premium of $5,250. This can be paid with closing costs or rolled into the loan. Then there's a monthly mortgage insurance payment. So for most people, it will be 0.55% as of this recording. It used to be 0.85%, but was recently reduced to help with affordability. Mortgage insurance for an FHA loan typically does not go away like PMI in a conventional loan. The one stipulation is if you put down 10% or more for your down payment, then the mortgage insurance goes away in 11 years. For most people, I would suggest that you refinance it into a conventional loan within about 5 years of getting the FHA loan if you can. FHA loans are a great way to get into a home with a little down payment, and if you have a lower credit score, once you build equity in the home and raise your credit score, then I think it makes sense to refinance into a conventional loan with no PMI if you're able to. Let's talk about the application process. So you don't have to go through a particular lender when you're getting an FHA loan. Generally speaking, the qualifications to get an FHA loan are much looser than other loans, like a conventional, for instance. A thing to keep in mind is not all FHA loans are created equal. This is what I mean. There are minimums that the Federal Housing Administration puts on these loans. However, Lenders are able to add their own requirements. They're called overlays. So the minimum credit score for an FHA loan is a 580 credit score for a 3.5% down payment loan. A lender can say, you know what, we're going to make it a 640 credit score requirement. It's always important to shop around for lenders when you're getting a loan, but this is especially true when getting an FHA loan, as the requirements can vary greatly. The great thing about an FHA loan is how easy it can be to obtain one because the requirements are relatively low. So if you get denied for an FHA loan with one lender and you meet the FHA requirements, I would see if another lender could help you. You don't need to work with an FHA approved realtor or anything like that. You can choose anyone you want to. I do recommend you work with a realtor who is familiar with the FHA process and what condition the home needs to be in, because FHA loans can be a bit particular on the property condition, which we'll get into later. I can help you find a real estate agent. The link is in the description. And also in the description is a link to my free homebuyer course where I go into detail on how to buy a home. The property needs to meet certain requirements outlined by HUD, which is the Department of Housing and Urban Development. These requirements are similar to VA and USDA loans. Think move-in ready condition, kind of. Some of the things that the appraiser will be looking for as far as the condition of the property is at least 2 years of life left on the roof, the paint isn't chipped, it's structurally sound, handrails where there are steps, like for a basement, for instance, that would need a handrail, but it may not be necessary for 1 or 2 steps. There can't be any broken windows, the attic and crawl space has to be clear, appliances are in working order. Sometimes people think the FHA property requirements are really strict, and it's really not that bad in my opinion. Most people will want the home in this kind of condition anyways. A great feature of the FHA loan is you can purchase multifamily homes, up to 4 units. You have to live in one of the units for at least a year, so this is a great way to start investing in real estate. Condos can be purchased with an FHA loan. However, there's an FHA approved condo list, and I'll put that link in the description. The list is small, so it's pretty difficult to buy a condo with an FHA loan in my experience. So when I have clients who are set on getting a condo and not a single family home, I may have them wait to buy a condo so they can bring up their credit score or whatever they need to do to qualify for a conventional loan for a condo. There are maximum limits on how much your loan can be for. They're based on the price of homes and cost of living in each area. The normal loan amount for a single unit home would be $472,030. In high cost areas, it can be up to $1,089,300. Keep in mind, this is just the loan amount. It doesn't include your down payment. So you can put more than 3.5% down if you wanted to be able to purchase the home. To get a 4-unit property within the normal range, you can get a loan for over $900,000. I have a link in the description so you can find out the maximum loan amount in your area. Some other important things to consider is gift funds are allowed. There's no maximum. It just can't be someone with a financial interest in the home. You can get a 6% seller's credit, and you can also have a co-borrower to qualify for the loan, and they don't have to live there like USDA loans. To learn about the pros and cons of getting an FHA loan, check out this video or this playlist about the different types of loans you can get. If you have any real estate questions, my contact information is in the description below. Thanks for watching to the end, especially if you're a subscriber.